This is the flux core arc welding how-to video. So I'm going to go over what you need to do to get started with doing some flux core welding in our booths here at Mattoon High School. So here's our booth. We have our exhaust. This one's not mounted at the moment. We have our tabletop. We have our metal that we're going to be welding. Couple tools, chipping brush. The wire that we are using produces quite a bit of slag. So we do need the chipping hammer and the brush, like you would with stick welding. We got our pliers for picking up the metal. These are channel locks, very good for picking up metal. These are not good for picking up metal. You can try. They don't work well. These are MIG pliers. They help us do a lot of things, but what you're probably going to be using them for the most is cutting the wire down to size. So let's go ahead and start there. So the stick out, which is the distance from the end of the tip to the end of the wire, we want the stick out for these welders to be longer than this pair of pliers. So you can measure it off, and there's the distance of the pair of pliers, but really we need to go a little bit further than that. So you can eyeball it. You will learn the proper distance by sound and feel as you get better with welding, but for just getting into it, just make sure that you are doing this longer than the MIG pliers are wide, okay? And that's the distance that you're going to stay away from the metal that you're welding. So we are doing this with the spotter. So the spotter is going to be watching you the entire time you're welding, and they need to be making sure that you are welding and you're not getting closer and closer and closer, because if you get that close, you're going to weld the tip right on, and this is $3+. And then if you're that close, then this thing is also melting too, and then we're doing more damage to the gun. If you're holding it down like this, you're too close to the heat, you're doing damage. So we need to make sure that we're up like this. We're going to be doing a push angle or push direction. So your spotter is watching for the distance between the gun and the metal, making sure you don't get too close. The spotter, the words that you're going to use is back up, get away from it, scoot back, you're too close, something along those lines. If they're not getting it, they're not doing the right thing, yell stop. And it's really loud in here, so you probably will have to yell stop. You got to get them to stop, because they're going to ruin the tip. If you do ruin the tip and it welds together, just come get me, so that way we can get it fixed, and I can help you address what's going on with and why you melted the wire into the tip into the wire. So spotter, as we're getting started here, you need to be actively paying attention, helping them stay at where the gun looks like it's at this angle, and they're going to be going forwards and nice and slow, but you'll figure out the nice and slow part. The spotter is also going to help you recognize if you're not close enough to the vent. If you see the smoke going straight up, you're not close enough to the vent. You need to tell them to stop, and you need to get the metal that you're welding on closer to the vent, so that way it sucks up all of the exhaust. We don't want any of the heavy metals, we don't want any of that smoke anywhere in the shop. Let's keep it clean. This vent will remove it entirely, and then it's not a health hazard for us. So this is your introduction to flux core welding. I did forget these two tools though. You weld one line, so weld one straight line for this first assignment, and then you're going to chip off the slag. Don't weld 5 or 6 lines and then chip the slag off. You don't know what it looks like, so you don't know what to adjust, whether you need to go slower, so that way it builds up the weld puddle, whether you need to slow down because it's too wide. There's a lot of things that you can see, but you can't see them with the slag on it. So you need to chip the slag off, and then you're going to brush it clean so you can see the shiny weld that you just laid down, so you know what to change. So make sure you're doing that after each weld. For the spotter and you to trade back and forth, you probably want to weld about 5 times and then stop. That person can go cool off their metal in the barrel that we have over here, and when they come back, the next person goes. Weld about 5 times or so, and then go cool off your metal, and then trade. So you're going to keep trading like this. One person's not standing there for the majority of the class hour waiting for their turn. You're going to continue to trade back and forth. That's how we make the number of welding booths work with the larger number of people that we have in the class. And it works out great because you can also get fatigued if you're not used to holding yourself in a certain position. So that gives you a break, and so you get better welds. So happy welding, and please see me if there's anything that stands out as not normal or I haven't explained it in this video.